Warning, the following scenes depict individuals entering into the union of marriage. We at MaxX do not condone such actions. However, if you are stupid enough to get married, please, for the love of God, don't do anything weird or cute on your wedding day. It really annoys the rest of us. A lot. You're taking maximum exposure for richer, for poorer. We're knocking you up and making an honest viewer out of you. These two are off for their wedding night, and the bride's about to go down. Spring wedding dress fashions. Wow, him in slinky neoprene. Here comes the bride. A ceremony gets filed under seemed like a good idea at the time. Wedding on World War II spy planes. Love conquers all, or at least Germany and Japan. Asian brides go on one last binge. At least it ain't with a stripper named Cole. Surprise proposals. This guy pulled out his Wienermobile. Love means never having to say you're sorry. Or maybe not. When this ride ends, the seatbelt's gonna have a lot of splaining to do. And ways to tell it's over. We're kinda liking this one. By the power vested in us, we now pronounce this show Holy Matrimony, the world's weirdest wedding videos.
As well as lift the toilet seat, keep your nose hairs trimmed, keep your job, and touch no other tallywhacker.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw! It's a wedding Texas style. Now, about half of all wedding days turn out bad, but you usually don't know that for years. Eva and James Clark find out a little quicker. After the promises, it's time for the happy couple to ride off into the sunset. Oh, maybe. Whoa, the bride takes a dive. Hey, let's see that again.
We hadn't practiced any of it. We had talked it through and talked it through and talked it through with the family, with ourselves.
She makes the mistake of digging her high heels into the horse. Come on, nobody likes that. She's thinking, this is the start of a lifetime of wedded bliss. The horse is thinking, does this dress make my butt look big? Yeah, it kind of does. And he's thinking about nothing. Come on, he's a guy.
Everything happened real fast.
He's not talking about his wedding night.
Everything happened real fast. My initial response was, what's causing this? And hoping that everyone's hanging on tight.
Not tight enough. Eva hits a concrete sidewalk and does an electric slide into a tree. Friends and family run to help, but she's as tough as a Texas truck.
First thing I was going to do is I was going to sell this horse. And because he ruined my wedding.
No, you weren't.
Or I thought he ruined my wedding. Actually, he just made it better. Just more exciting. I was going to sell him or kill him one.
Yeah, that there's a typical Texas response, the death penalty.
Kill him, kill him, kill him.
Sure, she can laugh about it now.
Well, it's not every day that the bride gets dumped literally on her wedding day.
No, but it's a start. It's bad enough we got to kill a perfectly good Saturday afternoon and buy you all a gravy boat. But these people made everyone come in wetsuits. This couple met in scuba class, and now they're saying their vows underwater. Yeah, cute. Check out the veil. There's really no excuse for having a wedding like this. We can only hope one of them surfaces too fast and spends the wedding night with the Benz. And hey, another thing, just because you work with animals don't mean you gotta get married with them. The bride here runs a company that trains chimps for TV and movies. Now all the bridesmaids have to carry a monkey instead of a bouquet. Great if you like apes. Bad if they end up like this, flinging feces at you. Sure, they're good dancers, but they totally take advantage of the open bar. Here's the Max X limo pulling up to the chapel.
As well as lift the toilet seat, keep your nose hairs trimmed.
That's rockabilly singer Mojo Nixon. and his fans know he's a little out there. He's into go-karts and Elvis.
Keep your job and touch no other tallywhacker till death do you part.
We don't cry much at weddings, but that's freaking beautiful, man. If anyone here can see why these two should not have their wedding in a balloon, speak now. Well, that's good enough for us. Now, these two wanted to do the hot air thing for the ceremony, but this wasn't in the brochure. First, they can't even hear each other's vows. Then the balloon takes a nosedive. Now, if that ain't an omen to call this thing off, we don't know what is. Just ask the flower girls. But these folks are in love, and that makes them pretty thick. They try it again. 15 minutes later, they're back down. They finally make this thing happen, but we're thinking they're each going to be more traditional on their second time around. If you want to get away from goofy weddings, you got to get out of the States. Go to the country with the most boring people ever. Ah, here we are. England. Bride, regular dress, good. Church, good. Boring minister guy.
Well, I had an extraordinary phone call from a friend of mine who asked me if I'd do a wedding, and I said, well, of course, I'd be delighted and thrilled to do a wedding. But then he said it's a bit of an unusual wedding.
All right, it's still in England. How unusual?
Will you, Dave Lawrence?
Oh, for the love of... Yeah, it's a wing-walking wedding.
It was totally Dave's idea to get married on the wing. When he came home with the idea, I thought he was joking, and so I went along with it to keep him happy for the evening. And the more we talked about it, the more realistic it became. So we actually going to go through with it.
That's her story. But you know, this guy just lost a bet over darts or something. They're all strapped in tight, each on their own vintage British spy plane. Kind of whippy-looking planes. Just another reason why we had to save their butts in World War II.
In fairness, I don't think either of us are that nervous.
Then it's nuptial time.
Will you, Dave Lawrence, take Jane Harland as your wife? Will you, Jane Harland, take Dave Lawrence as your husband? I will. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen. Amen.
Goofy wedding, all right. But at least you gotta thank him for not inviting us. Maximum exposure. Faking it since 1929. Coming up, mail-order brides. Plumping them up to your specifications. This guy's almost out of his bad marriage when...
I would like to reconcile.
Tough break, dude. Russian newlyweds take down the last hurdle to freedom. Exhibitionism. A couple fools their party guests. You won't believe what's in the ramaki. This guy had his fun proposing in here, but now it's time to drive that big wiener home. Experience the true meaning of wedded bliss. And then we'll take you for everything you got on our Max X list. Maximum exposure. Taste is our middle name. Yeah, but who uses that? You're watching Max X in sickness and in health. Women usually wait till after they're married before they start eating like pigs. But not in Japan. These three brides-to-be are on a game show that's going to give the biggest eater some serious yen toward her wedding. Here's the cake. The women got to down as much of those 3 layers as they can. And they're off. Yeah, it's kind of funny now, but we'll check in with her later. Check out Robo-Bride here. She's got her game face on today. On to layer 2. Oh, she's pacing herself okay. All right, let's speed it up a little and pick up right about here. How's that devil's food sitting now, Angel? These two are feeling the pain. But Robo-Bride is a machine. Bring on layer 3. Bride 2's in trouble. A doctor moves in to see if she's gonna hurl, but she just waves him off. A couple minutes later, and it's over. No mas. But don't worry about her. She always cries at binge-eating contests. Now it's down to these two. Robo-Bride's showing no signs of slowing down. But this one's hurting big time. Let's do some bite analysis. Here's her at the start. Here's her now. Time's up. Let's check out those cakes. And Robo-Bride's done it. Let's get her victory statement. We don't speak Japanese, but this is what we think she's saying. She just put on 10 pounds. Her groom's now having second thoughts. But the real thing is, her teeth were straight when this all started. Groucho Marx once said, marriage is a wonderful institution. But who wants to live in an institution?
8 years, it was a marriage from hell.
I felt it was time, basically, to get out.
They ain't citing irreconcilable hair, but either way, Bill and Cindy are calling it quits. They end up here, divorce court. But before they decide who gets the dog and who gets the John Denver albums, Cindy's got something to say.
Your Honor, may I be first to represent or to present the bench? I have something I'd like to say before we begin. I may.
Maybe I better hear it first. What is it? Just tell me first.
I would just like to tell everyone. I've got something prepared that I'd like to tell everyone.
No, Pandora's box is good enough for me. I don't care. Pardon? I don't know what she's doing exactly.
I would like to reconcile.
Do you want to reconcile?
8 years, it was a marriage from hell.
You don't have to have the approval of the court to do that.
How does Tom Petty Jr. feel about it?
I felt it was time, basically, to get out.
Thumbs up. Way to go, Bill.
I'm willing.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. May I please have a minute? This is the first I've heard of this, too.
Okay.
Bill and Cindy agreed on this the night before, but their lawyers are freaking.
I think it's appropriate that we continue the matter for 6 months. Have a review to make sure that these parties are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They can certainly file dismissal later, but for now, I'd like to just protect the procedure.
So what made him get cold feet about the divorce?
I said, kids are not going to have their mother. I'm not going to have a wife. You're not going to have a husband. Nobody's going to win in this.
The judge is down with their decision.
We're not going to supervise what you want to do with your life.
So Bill and Cindy are free to run their fingers through each other's bad hair for eternity.
8 years, it was a marriage from hell.
Good luck, kids. You just might need it. Even Russian dudes get suckered into bad wedding ideas. Sergei here let Natasha talk him into spending their 2-week honeymoon in a department store window. Now everyone in St. Petersburg is staring them down. Can't blame them, though. There just ain't much good Russian porn. This is all part of a promo by a furniture store. They stay 2 weeks, they get the furniture. You should see what they do for a bottle of Stoli. Now, we don't speak no kami, but we think she's saying. They finally get out and they get a carriage ride home. 2 weeks in a fishbowl is a long way to go for furniture. But it's still easier than trying to put that Swedish crap together. Right, Sergei? You got it. Max X knows that marriage is nothing you enter into lightly. And neither is this satin jacket. That's the best man. Sweet. And he's standing up for Mark McMahon as he takes Donna here for better or worse.
We're gathered here on this very happy occasion to witness the marriage of Donna and Mark.
Guess we're asked to leave small children and appropriate clothing at home.
I ask you both now, in the presence of your family and friends, to declare your intent to enter into marriage with one another.
I do.
Now, there ain't nothing missing except the kissing. So Mark plants a wet one on the new ball and chain. Cut to the bouquet toss.
1, 2, 3.
And the garter removal. Easy there, Tiger. And the father-daughter dance. But Big Mark's got something else on his mind.
We went through a whole lot of trouble for an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, good one, Mark. It only cost $3,000 in your credibility. Fake cake, cheapy rings, not a minister.
Marriage of Donna and Barb.
But sadly, that is a real satin jacket. So, how'd the big joke go over?
Scary.
It was cruel.
It was scary.
But not as scary as that sweet mullet. No I do can beat that do. Fake weddings are nothing to laugh at. Without them, some of our favorite Hollywood stars wouldn't be able to stay in the closet. The honeymoon's way over on Maximum Exposure. Coming up, a proposal with no fillers and no meat byproducts. Passengers catch a chick flick on the plane and get all lovey. A lawyer plays a joke, but it ain't a lawyer joke. Spring is in the air when husbands' thoughts turn to baseball. Romance at the county fair. Cotton candy, stuffed animals, and near-fatal accidents. And if that don't make you want to get hitched right now, wait till you see our MaxX list. MaxX, all liquored up and operating heavy machinery. MaxX, tying the knot and cutting off the circulation. Marriages start going bad the minute you pop the question. And worse, if you do it all cute-like, you could end up on our show. Like Mike and Lisa. They used to drive the Wienermobile around the country. And now Mike's going to let the makers of fine pork products do the asking for him. Mike gets down and whips out the hardware.
Hey, what did she say?
Are you surprised?
It's champagne all around, and then a group photo in front of that sweet ride. Then they climb inside the car, where Mark first showed Lisa that his baloney had a first name.
Finally, here we both are in Charlotte.
And I guess moving here was a good idea.
Lisa shows off her rock. Then they cruise around for a while. And it won't be long before they have some little cocktail weenies of their own running around the house. And another thing, don't get all elaborate and junk. Raises the expectations for the rest of us. The dude proposing cooked up a little something on his flight. Air Romeo gives each passenger a rose to give to his girlfriend, who's waiting for him at the airport.
Later. That's for you.
Don't even. Wait from him. I'm gonna die.
She's digging it. But we think passing out flowers at the airport should be left to the Hare Krishnas. So how many roses did this guy blow on his lady? Let's find out. Not a full flight, but still a lot of dough. And it sure starts her waterworks. And here comes Loverboy. Whoa, look at those medals. He's a Navy man. We're thinking he's seen that Richard Gere movie one too many times.
Thank you for your help.
No, thank you, dude. You only have yourself to blame when she starts saying, "You don't bring me flowers anymore." La Crosse, Wisconsin. And finally a case on the docket not involving two drunk Packer fans. That's Nicole Krumke taking the witness chair. Her boyfriend's the assistant DA. and he's got the court to set up a bogus case just so he can propose. This is the kind of crap that makes the Max X lawyer pull out her hanky. Not us. Nicole thinks it's a real case, and now boyfriend guy's gonna cross-examine her.
I was thinking to myself, oh no, my boyfriend has to question me. How am I going to handle myself on the stand?
I really had to keep from laughing and try to act natural, to not let on, and that was the most difficult part, to not just break out laughing.
Tim really starts putting the screws to her, and not in a good way.
Did you call anybody at the DA's office to check if the facts went through? Okay?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I didn't understand why he was getting kind of aggressive with me.
Tim decides it's time to drop the hammer. He gives her something to read aloud.
Yes, it does. Completely saying yes to this question. Will you marry me? Yes, I will marry you.
It was one of the most fun things I've done, to do this tour with complete surprise, and everything worked out according to plan. And it's a day that, we'll always remember.
Yeah, congrats. And don't worry, if you end up like half the couples in this country, you'll be back in court again. And it won't be so friggin' cute next time. Okay. You thought chicks dug firemen before. Get this. It's graduation day for new recruits in Cincinnati.
We need a volunteer from the audience. So we get a raise of hands to get a volunteer. Anybody? How about this young lady right here?
That's Amy Cron, and she's here to see her boyfriend become a real fireman. They tell her she's going to take part in a rescue demonstration. And look who's doing the rescuing. It's boyfriend Chris.
Sit over here. I'm so nervous. Amy, we've been together almost 3 years now. I have the job of my dreams, the girl of my dreams, and only one more thing will make it complete. I can't get down on my knees. Sorry. But will you marry me?
Okay, we hate to say it, but that was pretty good, Fire Dude.
Did she say yes? We're waiting.
Good story, but, it's kind of tragic. Now that he can get all the chicks he wants, he's tying himself down. I just hope he knows what he's doing. You're giving it up on the first date to Max X. Coming up, men are from Mars, and Mars attacks. We can't explain it, but some guys are just into screamers. Trust is the key in any marriage. And a good roll in the dirt. How do you keep that spark alive? Easy, start cheating. Don't skip out yet. You're gonna miss us toss the Max X list. Maximum exposure. The new ball and chain. Max X. We're getting cold feet and an unexplainable rash. All right, you did your goofy proposal. We even put up with your goofy wedding. But now it's time to settle into married bliss. We're figuring hubby here got shut down one too many times when he wanted to go out with the boys. I'm just kidding. Ain't no problem. We'll just wait for that birthday party. Tie up a piñata and... Whoops, did I do that? Let's see what really happened. It's this guy's 30th birthday party, and they blindfolded him. But then Wifey moves in to get the dogs out of the way, and then... Here's a souvenir picture from the emergency room. Ouch. Looks like she went a few rounds with the boss at Max X.
I didn't want to go out for almost 3 weeks just because it looked so bad. Big black eye, all bloody, and looked like I had been in a bad fight. And I lost.
everybody was like, go get it, and I took a swing, and bang, I missed the pinata and got my wife.
All right, dude. Thanks for clearing that up, dude. We know it was an accident and stuff, but remember, ladies, when hubby's holding a 2x4, take care of yourself first. The dogs are on their own. Married life ain't all roses, but at least you got a soulmate to do stuff with. This is Jack and Rhonda, and they're at the fair on a little ride called the ejection seat. It shoots you up at 60 miles an hour. It's giving Rhonda the willies. Yep, how can you not trust this face? It's going okay until... Jack springs into action. Jack springs into action. Hello, Jack springs into action. Jack! They finally touched down, and Rhonda got a good look at the tape afterward.
I was just glad to be on the ground. I couldn't believe I was on here, that I let him talk me into going.
Hey, let's see Jack's heroic rescue attempt again. Look at Jack's cat-like reflex to the crisis. A lesser man might panic. Then watch here as he clearly opens his mouth to utter reassurance. Yeah, she's lucky she's got Jack in her corner. But she's also got county fair technology on her side.
All of our safety devices, our crotch strap, which is the one that goes through the center, had brought in safety. You know, everything had worked, so I mean, it wasn't a safety issue. It was just really a comfort issue.
Rhonda's a pretty good sport about it. But hey, she's got to be if she wants to hang on to Jack. That lady strapping it on is Gina Pavolka, and she's getting ready to race with her husband, Eric. Gina hasn't learned the golden rule yet. Don't let your husband talk you into stuff, because you end up doing stuff like this. They race souped-up VWs. And this is the Laughlin Desert Challenge. They're in second place right here when Eric decides to take on the leader. We've got under a half mile to go when Eric takes one a little too fast. The camera dude's one of the first ones there, and lucky for Max Sachs, he decides not to help and to keep on taping. She okay? Let's see it again, a little slower.
I remember rolling 3 times and seeing sky and dirt, a lot of dirt. I just held on for dear life and waited for the car to stop rolling and finally saw that I was okay.
She is okay, and so is Eric.
I do feel lucky to be alive. It was a pretty hard crash. We're just fortunate that we built a safe car.
The only thing that sucks for Eric is that he can never bag on Gina's driving again. You're tuning out the nagging on Maximum Exposure. Coming up, this guy makes a commitment to beer and out-of-shapedness. Cheaters never prosper, but sometimes they get a little action. We'll leave the light on for you. And our stiletto heels. We know you like that. Then it'll be like a big swingers party with our matrimonial Max X list. Max X. You can't hurry love. Well, unless the game's coming back on soon. Max X. We're your little something-something on the side. Everyone knows half of all marriages fail. Lucky for us, a lot of them fail right on videotape. This woman's husband is out of town, and now she's all over this dude. So, what do you do when your wife's cheating on you? Well, you can hire this guy.
We were hired by a man who had reason to believe that his wife was having an affair, and he went out of town, believing that his wife was going to pick up the boyfriend, or a paramour, as we like to call it, which sure enough she did.
Looks like someone's coming in for a nightcap.
Then they wind up at her house. The next morning, we had called the client, and we told him that his wife had picked someone up and took him back to the house, to his house, and the husband called her up and said that he was coming home early. And as you can see on the tape, the paramour, the boyfriend, comes bolting out of the house. He's got his shoes in his hand, shirt open, belt unbuckled, and the most interesting part is that he had time to light a cigarette.
Hey, let's see that again. Now that it's lights out, easy to see why the wife's doing this guy. Look at that six-pack. Oh, yeah. Ever since there was marriage, there's been cheating. In New Zealand, they've got a whole TV show about it.
I more or less think my husband is playing around on me.
This private dick is the star.
Okay, I've been advised by the wife that her husband's working late tonight. As it is, I've been sitting out the front of his office for the last 2 hours. I just hope he comes out soon, because I really need to get something to eat.
Just a tip, if you hire this guy, send him out with a snack.
Because I really need to get something to eat.
It ain't long before detective guy spots his man. And hey, that's not his wife.
Okay, look, I've just followed him here to this restaurant. He has met a woman here. I don't know who she is, but they have gone in.
Hey, Magnum, we can tell you who she is. It's the chick he's nailing. What are you getting paid for, dude? He spies on him all through dinner, then trails him on their ride back.
Look, I think I've lost them. I know they're in this street somewhere. I might... Actually, there's... Hang on, let me have a look here. There he is.
Yep, and there's the money shot. Case closed, right? Wrong.
I get a phone call. The minute I get in this morning, I get phone calls from the husband, and he wants a copy of the tape. I mean, how did he find out I had a tape on him? I'll tell you how. The wife, she can't keep her mouth closed. I told her, keep it between us, but instead she goes and tells him.
And here comes Prince Charming.
Listen, mate, I'll tell you the way it is. All I've come here for is the tape. I don't want no trouble. Mate, I want the tape. It belongs to me, and you should never have done what the done, and it's been a low-down bunch of following me down the street.
It ain't that simple, though. The detective can't hand over the tape without the wife's permission, so they get her on the horn. Now, gentlemen, listen and learn.
Yeah, why not? Just tell him what's going down. Tell him it's okay to hand over the tape to me. Make sure there's no and I'll sort it out when we get home. Great. Here, you talk to him. There you go.
The wife caves, and hubby gets the tape back. Maybe he'll make it up to her with a nice trip to the carnival. No dude ever wants to get a note like this, especially on his ball. But that's what happens to this guy after a year-long affair. Once a week, he takes his bim to a motel. The Townhouse Motel, where you get weekly rates, a free continental breakfast, and a little sugar. Gotta give the guy props for creativity. Here's the private dick to tell you what he done.
A wife comes to us and wants to know if her husband had a girlfriend at his basketball league, which he played basketball for over a year, and he never ever joined the league. What he did is that he would pick up his girlfriend, go to a motel, do his little thing, put his basketball uniform on, and drive home exactly the same time the league was supposed to be over.
Original? Nah, NBA players been doing that for years. Wife has him dead to rights, but she ain't running to divorce court without a little payback.
My client was so furious that he got over on her for such a long time that she wanted us to give him a gift. The following Friday, when he pulled up to the motel room, there was a gift on the doorknob. Inside the bag was a basketball that said, "The game's over, the ball's in my court, love your wife, Mary."
Ouch! Mary scores from three-point land.
They flipped out so much that he could not believe he was caught, and she started crying because she was married. And that was sweet revenge for my client.
But cheating dude's not ready to give up. He puts the basketball back on the doorknob. Yeah, that's right, buddy. It never happened.
When he came home that night, the wife asked him, how was your basketball game? He said, I didn't do that well tonight. And he still wouldn't admit it.
Excellent dude response. Listen and learn, man. Who are you gonna believe? Me or your lying eyes? Yeah, this is maximum exposure, all right. So strap on that monkey suit, buddy. Time for the Max X list. Forget your guest list. This is the Max X list of holy matrimony. Number 3. Officer Joe Miller patrols the mean streets of Laguna Beach, California. You know, joggers crossing against the light, surfers surfing, and rich people going to lunch. Yeah, it can get pretty ugly. But today, Officer Joe's got proposing on his mind.
She thinks I'm afraid of commitment. I'm afraid to get married.
Hey, dude, maybe she's just afraid of that shotgun on your lap. He's gonna pull her over for a ticket, then pop the question. We hate this plan.
Now, am I supposed to take this out of the box? Like, do I take it out and then give it to her? Or do I give her the box and she put it on? I put it on, right?
Yeah, you can put it on.
I put it on, right? Yeah.
We're thinking this is how the show cops would look if chicks ran the show. Hey, see that black truck?
Yes, sir.
Joe's girlfriend's inside. And now it's go time.
Oh, my God. I feel like we're following a stolen truck or something.
They pull her over at this spot because waiting in the woodwork are all their friends and family.
Good luck, brother.
Thank you very much.
His partner gets her out of the truck, and Joe moves in.
You know I love you, sweetheart. Here it is. Oh, hey. Hey. Will you marry me?
Yes.
She said yes.
Congratulations, Joe. But in a couple of years, you're really going to be needing that bulletproof vest. Max X Matrimony number 2. When we said don't do anything cute for your wedding, we really meant it. Because you could end up doing something like this. It's a Wizard of Oz wedding. So wrong for so many reasons. And they're singing the ceremony. Trust us, you don't want to hear it. They planned this thing for 2 years and brought in a Hollywood makeup artist. Too bad every guest is thinking there's no place like home. These winners can't even drop it after the ceremony. They honeymoon in Kansas, where they party with some of the original Munchkins. You gotta be pretty lonely to spend your wedding night partying with drunken little people. Or pretty darn kinky. This dude may think it's all good now, but wait 5 years when the bride turns from this into this. Okay, we've seen some pretty messed up wedding stuff, but this one's a Max X marriage made in heaven. And it's number 1 on the Max X list, because this is how most marriages end.
So how do you want this done? Your discretion. On discretion.
Murder for hire, baby. Oh, yeah. It all starts with Beth Ellen Bronis getting dropped off at a Virginia motel. Her son gave her a lift. Yep, Mom's meeting a fat, bald guy in a motel room. No, nothing suspicious here.
So what exactly do you want me to do for you?
The hitman's really an undercover cop, which sucks for Beth Ellen, because this kind of thing is, like, illegal and stuff.
Now, I'm assuming you don't have $25,000 up front, do you? All right.
It's cool, though. If you've got insurance money coming, they got financing to fit all your murder-for-hire needs.
I'm worse looking out for you, all right?
This money will be transferred after, when I get finished.
I'm assuming, because you don't have the $25,000 now, do you?
No.
You got any questions of me?
Other than, the only thing I'd like to say is, I prefer it look like an accident, but if it didn't, it's not going to break my heart.
Right. Okay. Well, there's no business with you then, okay?
Man, do we love Beth Ellen. After she makes the deal to kill her husband, she tries to sell him a motorcycle.
Other than that, if you know anybody that wants a Harley Davidson and then the 8 Softail afterwards.
Nah, that's not my business.
You never know. You might need a birthday gift.
Right, you take care now.
You too.
That deal's done, and now this one's just beginning. The rest of the undercover team moves in. So busted.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
Beth ain't done yet, though. Check her out on the ride downtown.
I gave this was a setup, and I wanted to set my son up.
This is a setup, you want to set your son up?
I was going to go from here straight to the sheriff's department.
Good girl, Beth. You ain't #1 on the Max X list for nothing.
Yeah, very cold. She's very cold. I mean, we're talking about killing her husband.
That's Detective Mark Thatcher, who did the deal with her.
Very businesslike. It was like I was selling her a used car. And it was a situation where this was a abusive husband, or she was in a relationship where she was battered. It wasn't that case at all. She wanted the insurance money. That was pure and simple.
Husband Brian got a look at the tape later.
Part of the tape that really tweaked it was that she'd have a motorcycle to give away or sell.
We agree, Brian. We could take a bullet in the head. But does she have to sell her bike? Damn.
You never know. You might need a birthday gift.
Beth Ellen plea bargains for a 20-year sentence. And after that, gentlemen, she'll be back on the market.
She'll be a senior citizen after this is over. Have fun in jail. 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 Fun in jail.
Maximum exposure. Get out while you still can.
The planet is supposed to be uninhabited, but ghostly figures threaten their lives on Enterprise. Tomorrow night at 6 on UPN 11, Seattle's ones to watch. Now, stay tuned for Stargate SG-1 coming up next.